actually thinking about taking this sink and cabinet out and making Rambo like a full little tile shower, and doing like a puppy shower with a nozzle and everything. But I think every time he come in the house, he would be reminded of how crappy it is to take a bath as a dog. I don't know why some dogs don't like it, but I think I'm going to keep the sink for now, keep the cabinet, and we'll just see where it goes from here. This subway tile along the back is going to look epic. I think I'm going to do the white subway tile back here with some dark grout. I don't know. We'll check it out, see what I think about it when the time comes. So let's get to some demo. We're in the laundry room here. Got a PT belt. You got to be super safe at all times. So every time you're leaving the house, got to make sure you got your PT belt on, because we wouldn't want anybody to get hurt. All right, so let's take this middle cabinet out. Hopefully it doesn't go too bad. I forget how these hinges come off, but we're gonna give it a shot here. Yeah, just like that. It should just come off like that. All right, let me go get the ladder. He's like, whoa. Hopefully you got a good area here. All right, let's go ahead and take the top one off. That screw came out a lot easier than the last one. Try not to drop this on my brand new washer and dryer. All right, see, this should just come off. Ah, too easy. Little 2 screws. All right, next. Oh, that one just wants to fall out for sure. All right, should have just used the impact gun for these instead of screwing around with the little screws. But what's the fun in that? Got some old boxes that I'm not even using. Had them on the top shelf for some reason. Okay, so apparently didn't even need to take the screws all the way out. They had a groove in them. Yeah, well, live and you learn. All right, let's get these taken out. So I hope when I take this loose that this thing won't drop immediately out of here. It's gonna maybe take some finesse to drop all the weight out. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna take this shelf out. I'm gonna put these screws back in here. So I use Milwaukee tools for just about everything. I'm a big Milwaukee fan. This is the brushless impact. It is not the fuel version. I like the fuel version a lot more because it has an adjustable speed, and I own both of them, so this one is just raw, like straight up give it all go. So it's 100% all the time. So I'm gonna bust out three of these screws, and maybe on the third or on the fourth one, we'll start to feel some weight on this cabinet here. Let's see. All right, it's treating us good so far. So let's see here. Let's put this impact down somewhere so it doesn't fall anywhere. All right, let's yank this bad boy out of here. The key is to not let it fall on my washing machine. Huh, okay. All right, maybe it's just stuck. All right, there it goes. Just a little stuck. All right, too easy. And out. Oh, look at that pink color. Woo. Good Lord, who painted it that color? Yikes, and got a big old hole in the wall. It's like they brought the drywall together and just decided, oh no, that's a legitimate hole punched in there. Huh. So, I might have to work on this wall a lot more than I thought. It'd be a great time to change out this bezel, put my water or my hammer arresters in there, change my 220 outlet to a white one because that brown one looks disgusting. But now on to the next cabinet. So who would paint that pink? Oh, it's like grandma's house. Ah, that's bad. I don't wish that color on anybody. It's like baby puke pink. Ugh. So that cabinet I just took out, I'm going to put it over here in place of this cabinet. Since this cabinet is a 36 wide, these are more like 32. I don't know exactly. I'm just going to replace them. Come on. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and empty this other cabinet out here. Stack all this crap up. All right, so So I actually didn't even realize that I had my gun still on my hip. It just becomes so natural to wear that I didn't even realize I had it on still. So I probably look like a crazy ass, like, who the heck does home improvement stuff in their with their pistol on their... It's probably like, who the heck is this guy? I don't know, I just forgot I had it on. Didn't even realize I had it. Until it starts getting in the way, and then you're like, oh, hey dummy. Alright. This impact is really nice, but I wish it just had adjustable speed. It's a lot cheaper, which is nice if you're just looking for impact. It's really not that expensive for an impact. I'm rocking this one with the thin M18 battery on it. It isn't bad. This is a 2 amp hour, so it doesn't hold up for long, but you can still do a lot of work with it. I don't know how the heck the back panel of this holds the weight of the cabinet. It feels so chintzy. Like, how in the heck was that holding all that weight? I don't know. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit heavier. It should just come out of here. In theory, it should just come out of here. Let's alright. Oh, hey-oh! Alright, there it is. Okay. Oh, that pink! Ugh. Whoa, apparently I had it on something. Alright, let's get down off the ladder here. Now I got myself in a predicament. Hold this. Alright. God, that pink. Can't get over it. It's irking me. I'm gonna have to paint it tonight, just a different color. I'm gonna have to paint it just so that it's not this garbage pink. Ugh. Oh, that's nasty. And then what's that? I don't know what paint that is. So this wall feels pretty sturdy to do some tile work on. It's not going to be that big of a deal for Backsplash. Usually with Backsplash, you wouldn't want to do it on tile. Some people say put Durarock or Hardy Back or whatever you want to call it. They say put that on the wall, take the drywall off, put that on the wall, skim coat, do your tile. I don't really believe in that. If your drywall is not going anywhere, it's not a high impact area. This isn't a kitchen Backsplash. Now, it's a laundry room, so it's just there for looks. It's really not that big of a deal. Now, I'm gonna have to fix this little punch out here. What I do for those is I'll cut a 3-inch hole here with a hole saw, and then I'll take another piece of drywall and I'll cut a 3-inch hole and use that piece to go in here, fill it in there. I'll put a little piece of plywood behind, a little like a little stick of wood. I'll put a little stick of wood in there, hold it with my fingers in the hole, screw it in on both sides, and then I'll screw my hole piece to it and then just spackle over it. This is too big, you really don't want to spackle over that. You can put some tape over it and then spackle it, but that's just a temporary solution. When I'm about to put tile over here, it's going to possibly screw it up. So I'm going to put the cabinet the same size as this one, the smaller one I took out of the middle, I'm going to put right here. I don't know if I'm going to paint behind it or not. Guess we'll see about that. See how I feel. I kind of want to paint the sides of the cabinet, so I might just take them all down, paint it white, so I can start fresh slate. Looks like we got a little bit of tearing paper on the drywall, but gypsum board, if you will. Yes, it's called gypsum board. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at here. I'm gonna get rid of this nasty sink. I think I'm gonna pull this bad boy out and get a better sink put in here. Maybe a copper sink or something. Think about doing a different countertop. All right, what's up, everybody? I didn't record the first part of this because I didn't want to be cursing out the camera or cursing out the project while I'm doing it, because these little subway tile are a pain in the butt. So spacers everywhere, mortar drying while you're trying to do it. So I didn't want to curse the project while I was doing it. So I just have this little bit left to go. It's nearing the end of the night. I have moved my cabinet in between and mounted the cabinet on that side, and then I'll put my black iron pipe here in the middle. So you go get my black iron pipe, show you what it's going to look like. So this is my goal, is we're going to put this black iron pipe here in the middle, up on the cabinet probably a little further. But I'm going to have this mounted up here so you can hang stuff from it. There's the flange on top is for a big wooden shelf. I'm going to do some kind of maybe rough cut wood, something to match the cabin. I'm going to go put it up there and be able to hang clothes from it. So this is kind of like a in progress pic or video. I'm just finishing up with the subway tile and getting it mortared on the wall. I decided not to back it with any backer board. Just do it right to the drywall. I've had good luck with it in the past. So this isn't a shower, so it doesn't really matter. No water is going to get to it. You're really just holding the tile up. You don't have to worry about anything else. So yeah, this is a project video or a progress video, and yeah, it's going quite well. So it'll look better with grout on it. I'll probably actually videotape the whole grouting process, because it's a lot easier to do than all of these little spacing and stuff like that. Just for a frame of reference, these are considered a 2x4 tile. So they're about 1.5 by 3.5. So nominally 2x4 little tile. And they come in a 12 by 12 sheet or 11.5 by 11.5 sheet. And then all you need to do is really make sure it's level on the wall, and then space in between each sheet. So that's how they come. They come in boxes like 15. You get them at Home Depot. Fairly cheap. They're right around $2 a square foot. So overall, this is 26 square feet here, and it's pretty cheap. So I spent $50 on tile. Not too bad. If you already have all the tools and all that stuff, then it's even cheaper. So yeah, that's that. So we'll catch you guys next video, and we'll go into actually grouting this tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Alright, so I said I would go ahead and zoom in here and show you exactly how I do this. So you got your grout bucket. You want to keep it somewhere close so you can throw in all the excess crap that you accidentally leaves or falls off. You want to keep this fairly mixed up with the edge of your bucket so that it doesn't dry out. But you're going to load up the grout sponge. Depending on the tile that you're doing is how much you're going to load up on the grout float. Load it up, and then all we're doing is just pushing it into the cracks at a 45-degree angle. Always wipe at a 45-degree angle. If you wipe like this, every single ledge that you come to, it's going to fall down in and then fall down in, and it just creates a divot in the grout seam. So 45-degree angle at all times. Come in through here. 45, 45, back and forth on it. We're going to stop right here because I'm probably going to go up there the next time, the next wave of grout. I'm going to go up there. So I'm going to fill in above this this tile too, because I'm going to finish it with a nice piece of quarter round that's painted the same color as the cabinets, and so it just finishes it off. Get all that in there. Okay. All right. 45-degree angle when you're wiping it, just like that, and then take your dollop and back in through here. I'm saying dollop a lot. I don't know what the hell. I'm liking that word today, dollop. All right. Okay, so we'll go on down through here. Wipe. Get all that crap off. And then going up here. Okay. More grout. It's probably more than I needed. See? That's what will happen. That's what happens when you have too much grout and you get too excited with it and it falls off the edge of your grout float. Okay, so we'll go pick this up in a second. Alright, I don't want to mess up all the work that I already did down here at the bottom, but inevitably you're just going to screw it up. So like I said before, I'm not really worried about this mess that I create here because I'm going to pick this up and put it back in my bucket. Some people will disagree. Some people will be like, oh, there's dirt on it, so you can't put it back in the bucket, back on the wall. And well, I just wiped down the countertop with the sponges, so it's not like the countertop has contaminated it at all. So quit getting your panties in a bunch. There's a lot of different opinions when it comes to tile. A lot of different ideas and opinions, and the stuff drives you nuts. It's like anything else. It's like everybody thinks their idea is the best. Well, I don't think my idea is the best. It's just how I do it. So whatever works for me, based on my experience, is what I do. So I'm not worried about what someone else's, how they do it, or how a professional contractor comes in, because I have talked to professional contractors in the store that I just can't even believe they're a contractor because of the practices. I'm like, they're just like, oh yeah, just caulk in between the tile. Wait, what? Like, wait, you're not gonna grout it? No, you can put caulk in there and it works just as good. Well, holy moly, like, what are you doing? Like, I would hate to even see the projects, you know, and then they're the people that are in the big box stores that are handing people advice when they're out there buying stuff. Like, dude, you're I don't know what. Like, what in the heck? Like, why are you in here? It's one of those things. Like, I just cannot believe those people actually, work on people's homes. There are some hacks out there, so you just got to be careful, especially if you hire somebody in to do it. Make sure you have a good portfolio of what they're capable of. A lot of contractors are putting their stuff on Instagram now, which is nice because it lets you see the work. It lets you see where they've been, what they've done. Look, I'm gonna wipe this up off the counter so that it doesn't get bad. All right, boom, counter clean. I'm gonna wipe all my excess junk back here. So yeah, a lot of people are putting their stuff up on Instagram. It's a great media to put your work. It's all pictures. It's where I put a lot of my stuff too. So, all right. See, I overworked the grout a little bit, and it dried on the surface. Not the end of the day. You just got to be a little bit faster at getting it off. So that's where the 3 sponges come into play, and being able to get this off the surface fast, so that it doesn't dry and leave some kind of nasty grout all over your white tile. All right, let's get this stuff. All right. So sometimes you'll forget about wiping at a 45-degree angle. You'll go in there at a straight angle and wipe your grout, and then you'll be like, I forgot. It's like, everybody's human, so even while I'm doing this, like, yeah, you remember, like, oh crap, I shouldn't do it like that. Well, you get excited, you're worried about it drying, you're trying to get it off as fast as possible, so yeah, you make mistakes. Like, who cares? Like, as long as you don't totally hack the project, you know, at the end of the day, you're only into it your time and the supplies to get the project done. So it's not like it's the end of the world if you mess something up. You can always go back and redo it. See, now I got some weird dry grout down here that I was pushing around in my grout. Okay. See, now I'm overworking it again. Just like I told you, there goes my sponge. Yeah, my biggest downfall is overworking this stuff. So I just come in here and I just keep wiping it and keep like loving it and like, oh, be better, like look better really right now. It's not the end of the world. Come out here and get the excess off my tile where I had got some extra. Another thing that I didn't go over is that you need to make sure that all of the mortar is scraped from in between the tile. So there might be, when you laid the tile, there might be a little bit of grout that was left, or mortar that was left and pushed through to the front. You want to make sure that there's enough space in between the face of your tile and the mortar behind to get that grout in there. So you just got to be careful and notice that stuff. Go back over your wall a few times and make sure you didn't leave any area that was had raised mortar from underneath, because it will show when you go to grout it. That'll pop through, and then it'll be the first part that you wipe grout off of. So, all right, now I'm back to microfiber. Another tip that I will say is do not dump your grout bucket that you're rinsing your sponges out in. Do not dump it in the sink. It has that sanded adhesive. It will get in your sink. It will screw up your stuff, so just don't do it. Don't take that shortcut, even if it's cold outside like it is now. It's like -5 out. Like, just don't take the shortcut. Just go dump it in the yard or in the driveway. It's not worth screwing up your laundry sink or your kitchen sink for that matter, just because you're lazy and didn't want to go outside. You can bear the cold for 2 seconds to dump a bucket out. All right, there's that. See, I'm overworking it again. It's no big deal. Not the end of the day. Boom. So I hope you can see that well on the camera and it's showing up all right. But there's my finished grout versus non-finished. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to show this section really zoomed in here. I'm going to try to make this I'm going to try to stay out of the camera view because I know it's really zoomed in, and also grout this wall. So it's one of the things you got to put up with when you're trying to videotape something. So here I go, overworking it a little bit too much already in the first 2 seconds. You literally, all you need to do is put it in the seam, put some pressure on it, wipe it down. That's it. And then on to the next part. And then wipe it down. And then on to the next part, wipe it down. So it can go pretty darn fast. You can, okay, so this is what I was talking about. When I went down like this, it would, you hear that on the wall? That means it's going in each divot, and I'm basically putting a divot in with the grout float on each one of those lines. So what you want to do is make sure that you're staying at a 45-degree angle. I was just getting excited, was continuing on too fast, not thinking about it, and went straight down with it, and then now that's not to say that you're going to ruin it. You're going to mess it all up and it's going to look stupid. But at the end of the day, if you did that on everything and you never went back and fixed it, then yes, it's going to affect the overall end story of your project. And you're going to be like, why does that look like that? Well, you're just having the wrong movement with the grout float. So just think about it and be better. Suck less. All right. So I'm going to get down to about right here, and I'm going to stop. So you have to have reasonable expectations with as far as you're going to go. At every time you grout something, you've got to figure out exactly how far it is that you want to go, because it's very, very hot in here. Like this, the wood burner is driving me out of the house. So when it's probably every bit of 80 degrees in this room right here. So this grout is drying really fast. I kind of need to open the door, which I might do here in a second. But the grout is drying really fast, and I don't have a lot of time to work with it. So I'm not going in big areas. Where on a tile floor, if I was doing a floor, I would have already done I would do a spot the size of this entire wall in one grouting session, and then just have sponge the rest of it, sponge it clean, and it would be no big deal. But with this, there's so many grout lines, and it's drying fast, and I overwork it already, blah, 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 blah. There's tons of factors that go into it. So I'm gonna get 2 of my sponges ready to rock and roll. So literally come in here and you're just wiping it off. Staying at that 45-degree angle. Now some people say, oh, I wiped the wall too much with the sponge that time. Whatever. It's all up to what you want to do with it. You want to make sure that the number one key to it is getting the grout off of the face of the tile. If you don't get the grout off the face of the tile fast enough and it dries, you've screwed the whole project. So the key is, regardless of how you want to say, oh, I wipe it at the wrong angle, or you're using the sponge too long and it's getting dirty. Well, number one key is to get that grout off the face of the tile. Then we can go back and legitimately go through and do it the right way. So I just got all the tile clean from all of the grout. So now we can go back in here and wipe it our diagonal ways and do it like that. Okay. So now we go in through here. Okay. So in between stuff like this is where you get into, you can't really do a 45-degree angle. You just got to make it work. Because as you wipe, if you wipe sideways in here, you're going to wipe the grout out of the groove. It's just how it goes. Okay, so 1 wipe, 2 wipe, okay, 3 wipe. Okay, so I can still see a lot of grout on the tile. So I'm in it to win it a little bit here with the wiping. I'm going to be doing it for a minute. Got a long way to go on this one. All right, 1, 2, and you want to rotate often so that you're not contaminating you're not wiping the grout further and further down the wall. Right now I'm just cleaning up around it because the water was carrying the grout out. That's how it goes. So this is the one where, this is the point where you need to have the most patience with wiping it and making sure that you're keeping your sponge clean and only wiping it once or twice and calling it a day. Once, rotating your sponge so that you do not contaminate it. Okay, back in here, because when it dries, boy, there will be a bad haze and you will not be able to get it off. You also want to be careful with everything outlying that you're not letting it dry out here. I almost let it dry over here on the right, and I'm talking about it, so you just got to be careful with it. So I'm going to rinse off my microfiber here. We'll go through here and wipe it down with microfiber. So remember, the microfiber is just to get rid of that extra water, to dry it off and not leave a haze. So there's still a lot of water on the surface. You're just coming in here just to make sure there's no haze. Make sure that water isn't drying with all that crap in it. So boom, come across, boom, rotate, over. Okay. The great thing about a microfiber is that it has two sides and you can fold it into fourths. You've got tons of room to work at it. Just fold it over again and we wipe it again. So let a little bit of grout dry over there. Just snag it real quick. Now I'm coming down here. Now I'm doing this and this. It's kind of an art form. You just have to get used to it. If you wipe a little bit of grout out, so be it. You just come in through here and fix it. Go up with it. Back. And boom. Now she's drying without a haze. Too easy.